Today we're going to be talking about the Olight Warrior Mini 2 and why, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best flashlights in Olight's lineup for both EDC and general home use. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Cross and Copper EDC. I'm your host, as always, Carson, and I'm so glad you took some time out of your day to join us for this video. As you saw from the intro, we're going to be going over the Warrior Mini 2 from Olight. If you're new here, subscribe and like the channel if you like faith, EDC, and everything in between. That's what we're about here. Subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment down below of your favorite EDC flashlight, as well as your favorite Bible verse. Speaking of Bible verses, we are starting a college Bible study tonight. This is October 1st, and we're going to be going over the book of James in the month of October. And in my general study, trying to really build the knowledge and the key verses of the book of James, I was reading through this morning, and in James chapter 1, verse 22, it says this: "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." I just wanted to share that with you this morning as we get into the video of how important it is when we read the Bible that we do the things it says, that we follow the commands that God gives us in His Word, and not just read them and then go do whatever, but we actually take these wisdom words from God, apply them to our lives, and live pursuing Him. That's all what this channel is about. Growing closer to God and growing more effective in our everyday lives with our EDC gear. And that transcends just what's in our pockets, but also the words of Christ and God that we keep in our hearts. So I hope that ministers to you today. Make sure we're actually putting to use these words we read, instead of just reading them and leaving them here, but keeping them in our hearts and applying them to our lives. I hope that encourages you today. Well, let's get to the main point of the video today, is talking about the Olight Warrior Mini 2. Now, I bought this flashlight in 2022, and this flashlight, if you will, I'm sure many of you probably have children out there and might be familiar with the whole push present idea. It's a gift that the husband or dad typically gets the wife or girlfriend, if they're not married, after having a baby. Well, I got my wife a few gifts, and I also got myself this flashlight because I did not have a really nice flashlight. And I watched a lot of reviews, and I love this Warrior Mini 2. It's a great flashlight. It runs on, let me get the battery out here so I can show and tell y'all. It is an 18650 3500 milliamp hour 3.6 volt flashlight. Yeah, I'm a little clumsy. And it's a great EDC flashlight. A few of the standout features before we get into my personal thoughts on the flashlight. It has the tail switch, so for activation, you can push the tail switch, light press to go to your high mode, and then full press to go to turbo. And I'll get into some of the specifications of how many lumens those are individually. You also have the side button that doubles as a battery indicator. So if you'll see there, let me get a little closer for y'all, maybe it'll focus. It shows a green button, or a green light on the button, and that indicates that the battery has a good charge. Now, there's several modes to this flashlight that really make it special in my opinion. So it's max lumen output, so that's a full press of the tail cap, comes in at a whopping 1750 lumens. That is brighter than anybody might ever need, but it's really, really good for instance, an everyday thing I use it for is if one of the dogs runs off into the woods, I can easily go grab this flashlight, pop it on that 1750 really quickly, and try to find my dogs, whether they're in the neighborhood or running through some woods. I can really pick them out easily with this flashlight. One of the other things I love about it is it has a magnetic tail cap. Let me see if I can demonstrate that for you here. I'm just going to swing over this podcast mic. And as you can see, the flashlight fully sticks onto that surface. And it's solid. I mean, you've got to really pry it off. And it really is great for when you need hands-free for a task. I'll never forget, it was about the second week I had this flashlight. I stuck it to the hood of my truck because I was having vehicle problems and forgot about it and actually shut the hood and drove home. And when I got there, it was still in its position on the hood and on. And that was really just a, if you will, a testament to the quality of these Olight flashlights. Let's start getting into some of the specs. It's a pretty good sized flashlight, if you will. It's probably, I'd have to say, let's see, 1, 2, it's probably about 4 inches long in length, and it's about the diameter of a quarter, if you will. So imagine those sizes. I got my note sheet here, if you will. So the max lumen output is 1750 lumens, and it will run on that for about 4 minutes. A really interesting thing about the max lumen output is they put a sensor on the lens of it. And I don't know if y'all will be able to notice this on camera or not, but if I go max lumen and get my hand close enough, it actually takes itself down a step. So you're not going to accumulate a lot of heat and then burn yourself, because the proximity sensor will notice whenever anything gets close to it, and it'll automatically lower the flashlight. Its next setting is high, and that's around 500 to 200 lumens, depending on how good of a charge your flashlight has. Medium is going to be around 120. Low, 15, and really the mode that I use more than anything is moonlight. And that is, you may be able to see, that's 1 lumen. And the impressive thing is this flashlight can run for 45 days on full charge on that 1 lumen setting. It's got phenomenal construction, and I've had this for 2 years and not noticed any battery degrading, and I've absolutely beat it up. It's been tossed around, thrown on gravel, dropped from high heights, and it keeps bouncing back. And I think it's a phenomenal flashlight that's really underappreciated. I'm more of a knife guy, if you will. I don't know a ton about flashlights, but it's a little bit big for everyday carry, but an awesome flashlight just to keep on your nightstand. For instance, and my prayers are out to anybody severely affected by the recent Hurricane Helen or Helene. I really don't know how you pronounce it, but we lost power for a few hours at our house. And going back into some of the darker rooms, it was nice to have something other than my phone flashlight to look for stuff. And that was a real thing, a conscientious thing I think we all need to think about when it comes to our EDC. We all utilize our phones for a lot. And especially if the power goes out, if you don't have a way to charge your phone, that flashlight is really going to drain your battery. So having a secondary and primary way to light up a room, go look for something, whether it's, in the house, outside, that's not going to drain your battery on your phone, is really crucial. Overall, after having this Olight Warrior Mini 2 for over 2 years, I can't recommend it enough. It's a great flashlight option. It's a little bit big for EDC, but a great flashlight just to chunk in your pocket if you're gonna go outside real quick to walk the dogs at night, or if you hear a bump in the dark, go check out what it is. That is one thing it's really good at, is having it as a improvised weapon light, if you will. Being able to hold it. It does have some knurled edges for if you had to use it as an impact device, as well as it has a pretty nasty strobe that will have anybody that it is shown at directly seeing stars for a good while. Trust me, I've accidentally done it to myself. But overall, I think if you go out and buy one of these Warrior Mini 2s, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Do I think it's a tad big for my personal EDC? Yes. But I work in a church, and not often am I going to need a flashlight of this caliber. But for a great home flashlight, I don't think you're going to find better. It's been beat up. It's been used as a chew toy by my toddler when she was growing up. And it just keeps rolling with the punches. It's scratched up and dinged up. But it's just been a great flashlight. So I hope if you're interested in it, this is just a normal dad review here. I hope this video is informative enough to give you the basic specs to help you make a decision on whether the Warrior Mini 2 is the flashlight for you or another one is. That's all I've got for you today. Tune in next week for an exciting video on my opinion on the best sunglasses for parents. I hope y'all have a great day. If you're new here, give us a subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. I hope y'all have a great day, and God bless.